Hello, hello. Welcome to my 30-month AJATT slash Mia slash Refold progress video. Just a quick heads up before I get started. This is probably going to be my last video in this progress series. I might make more Japanese related or language learning related videos in the future, but I'm not really sure yet. Yeah, getting into it. Like last time, I just didn't really have a whole lot of specific goals apart from just continuing to work on output. And even with output, I could probably have done more than I did, but yeah, I'll talk more in detail about that later. So yeah, for this past 6 months, I started out just doing Hello Talk as I had been before. I managed to find more people to talk to on a more regular basis and actually, yeah, become friends with. So I'm not really relying on Hello Talk really anymore. In fact, I haven't used the app in like several months. But yeah, it was useful when I was using it a lot, I guess. It got me to where I am right now. As for inputs, I am still reading, mostly reading, just things like novels and manga a lot. I'm also watching some stuff, but really not as much as I should. It's kind of just been a big problem for me this year. Just hard to get myself um, I wouldn't even say motivated, but it's hard to find myself interested in something enough to just watch it all the way through. I kind of feel like I have to force myself a lot. But yeah, hopefully I can just slowly ramp that up again and start watching a lot more things because, yeah, watching and listening to Japanese is definitely something I could benefit from doing. But yeah, I've just been overall going at a much more relaxed pace, I found. Like, I haven't really been super stringent on myself about doing a certain number of hours per day or doing a certain type of content one day and then a different type of content the next. Probably been a bit too relaxed, to be honest, but yeah, I guess I can keep working on that from now. One new change is I have started listening to audiobooks a bit. So I did finally get around to getting a Japanese Audible subscription, which thank you, YouTube commenters, on my last progress video for explaining to me how to do that. It's actually pretty simple, so I definitely recommend anyone else who's doing AJAT to try that out. I still haven't made full use of it. I've just only listened to a bit of one audiobook series, but I definitely want to start using it more, especially when I'm just not at the computer. I think just listening to an audiobook while I'm uh, doing something else, like or just relaxing around the house would be nice. Also, I just have completely not done language parent slash shadowing stuff. In the previous 6 months, I did do a little bit to do shadowing and language parent stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's partly because I can't really find a language partner or not partner, language parent that I was super satisfied with. I just couldn't find someone who had a lot of listenable content, who was someone that I kind of wanted to emulate accent wise. So yeah, I still don't really know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe I'll revisit shadowing just by itself without the language parent aspect. So I do think it's a good idea for me to focus more on pronunciation practice and just general things like that to get more used to speaking Japanese because um I do feel like I could improve at least to become more comfortable in speaking Japanese. There's still some things that I feel are awkward to say just because probably the way I'm articulating my mouth, I guess, like the way I'm pronouncing things to, is just not lending itself to be pronounced smoothly, I guess. I'll have to look more into that. I think Dogen's Japanese phonetics course will help there a lot. I mainly only just watch the pitch accent stuff, but I should really go back and watch more of the pronunciation specific things too. I guess I'll show a bit of the Anki now. Fair warning, I haven't really done I've done Anki every day pretty much, like always, but I haven't been really super hardcore about adding lots of cards and stuff. And yeah, there were actually a couple days where I just let it slip, and I would just do. I would let it sit for like 3 days and then just do it all at once, and then that kind of thing would happen several times. So yeah, I haven't been too strict on Anki, but yeah, not too much has changed. I don't think the number up here has gone up very much. 13,161. I definitely need to I definitely am very curious about how big my vocab is right now. I do want to look around online and see if there's like a little test I can take that would gauge that. Um yeah, because I did hear an interesting number, something like the amount of words that an average Japanese speaker knows. I forget what the exact term is. It's like something like not like in total vocabulary, like passive vocabulary. I think the active vocabulary or something, or vocab that they can understand is more like a general set of words. It's apparently much larger than English, which totally makes sense because, um, yeah, I definitely see that a lot when I'm just reading and watching things. I just notice so many specific words and bits of vocab that seem to be common, where compared to English, it just feels like there's a lot fewer words that are used. Also, I mean, part of it is just because in Japanese, to where English would use a whole phrase or instead of two or three words to describe something, there's a single word in Japanese that's just a onyomi kanji compound. But even with that, I think, uh, yeah, it's just definitely a lot. Yeah. Also, this is a bit tangential, I guess, but I've been having a lot of problems with Anki. Maybe partly because I'm on Linux, and unfortunately, the experience on Linux for Anki isn't perfect. Um, but it used to be fine with the main app, like sound played with everything just fine. And I had a problem with the Migaku dictionary, which only played sound at the start of for like the first 20 minutes or something, but then afterwards, uh, it just wouldn't play any sound. But now even the main app isn't playing sound anymore. So yeah, I don't really know what to do about that other than maybe try to update or something. I'm still on a really old version because Migaku Dictionary needed that version. And I checked recently and also apparently found that Migaku Dictionary is now no longer supported. And yeah, it's just a lot of features are just not working on Migaku Dictionary, especially the Google search is just broken. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about that. I do really like this flow for creating cards really quickly and easily, but it just isn't working. They replaced it with a paid version that is just in the browser, which I think kind of defeats the purpose of just having something like this always open on your desktop and just straight up. I don't even know if it's directly connected to Anki or not, but yeah, I will definitely miss this workflow. If anyone knows of any alternatives, by the way, that just emulate this, just let me know. Be very curious to find out. But yeah, I think the role of Anki is kind of just diminishing as well. I'm not really too concerned with Anki like I was before. For me, it's just another little thing that I do or try to do every day. And yeah, that's about it. You know, I add cards when I can, and that's probably something I'll just keep doing until I feel like it's no longer necessary. Yeah, moving on. I do have some big news that I need to announce. So in the past few months, I decided to make kind of a larger scale life decision. Or I decided I'm just going to go ahead and actually just move to Japan. I've been thinking about doing this for a few years now, or at least I think at least 2 years ago. It's probably when I first started thinking about it, and I figured now is a good time in my life where I can just go and do that. So yeah, I pretty much just started looking for jobs there. I found one, and yeah, everything just kind of went from there. I'll be starting pretty early next year, and yeah, I am quite busy with the moving process right now. So once I get settled down, I will definitely continue to just keep AJATting as normal, but from Japan, which should help my motivation quite a bit. So yeah, I also did in fact do Japanese interviews, as in like interviews in Japanese, which was just very I don't know, I feel like it could have gone a lot worse than it did. I feel like I've managed to present myself pretty well despite hitting some roadblocks in my language ability in terms of I guess business Japanese. But yeah, I think I somehow managed apparently because I did get the job. Yeah, I guess I'll just keep working on that. So as for where I am now in terms of AJAT, like how fluent I would say I am, I would say overall I feel like I'm not fluent. I think I can come off that way in certain contexts to natives, but I'm definitely lacking a lot of knowledge and a lot of proficiency in various areas that makes me hesitant to call myself fluent. Of course, that's bound to happen. I think people are just going to be a lot more critical of themselves when they're very um, acutely aware of their ability. But I think it's a good attitude to have overall. It's going to keep you improving on the right track. I'm also getting a much better appreciation for the depth of Japanese. There's just so much stuff to learn. And definitely when I was coming at Japanese like 2 years ago, I couldn't have really imagined how much more there was to learn exactly. I definitely thought there was a lot less to learn than I can see it now. So that's a very interesting kind of experience to go through. It's very hard to explain to someone who hasn't actually gone through the exact same thing. But yeah, it's just really, really specific, I guess. I guess that's why it's hard to explain. Yeah, I do feel like I've come far though for the amount of time I've spent. I mean, 2.5 years is, I guess, not that much for learning an entire language, especially something as different from English as Japanese. In particular, I feel like output-wise, I can mostly get it by expressing myself and saying what I need to say. But I do sometimes come up against roadblocks where I know there was a better way or a smoother way to say something, or I feel like I couldn't string together my thoughts very clearly, or I feel like I could have been a little bit better with the pronunciation. So I think that's just going to require a lot of practice and continued input as well. In particular, I do find myself overthinking pronunciation, especially in terms of pitch accent. Like sometimes I'll just try to put too much effort on the pitch drop of every word in the sentence, where really you should just it's you and most native speakers just speak naturally, and the pitch accent just comes out naturally, and there's a much more gradual falling tone over the whole sentence. I think Dogen made a video on that, and it's very hard to pick that up by just trying to learn it. I think it's just going to take more input, probably, and probably also just training myself to not overthink pronunciation when I'm actually speaking. I am also going to probably revisit Dogen's course, as I said before. That's definitely something I need to do, I guess next year. Also, as for Refold itself, I haven't really looked at the site apart from a few days ago where I saw part 4 or stage 4 is out, but it's Patreon locked. I don't know if it's going to be Patreon locked forever. But yeah, because it is, I just haven't gotten around to taking a look yet. And I might if I feel like it could be useful. So as I said before, this is most likely going to be my last AJAT video. There might be more Japanese related videos, especially now that I'm actually going to be living in the country, but I'm still just not really sure what I want to do in general with my channel. Alright, so lastly, I just want to thank everyone who watched and kept up with this series. I really do appreciate it.